the first principle we spoke about, you remember? The transformation of every person's heart through righteousness of both rulers and citizens. Okay, truth is the major principle for national transformation. It is the basis for national building, for technological and industrial development. They are not. Okay, sincerity, honesty, those are the ways to legislate and propagate and imbibe righteousness and into the hearts of people so that the hearts of men will change. So sincerity is needed for rebuilding of relationship in a society, for building successful relationship in a society. Meditak gawarile, nada bila srazo temo. Votada jenis night, eta jitebe ya besti. Tebe nada bila eta sio pafta no repetir over dota boston. Ani jeni mombuz na yesterday and in course. So 7 principles of national transformation, and now we're going to go through some of the illustrations here. They are not what that? 3? What that 3? What's this? Ranch, Agrani. Ashwo, ni nada stuff is very proper. Nada thing that was not messed up. So we said that I told you I proposed to really. Okay, let's go. Zvuk. Naladile zvuk. No, that's yeah, please. It was already on, just make it loud. Virginie Gatovili eta dela. Sorry guys, especially those of you who are on Facebook. Gale, ty что, не сказали, что мы будем показывать видео? А кому ты говорила? Кому? Бабуша и кто? Что такое чат? Надо говорить, объяснить человеку, что нужно. Babusha, they said they told you, they informed you. Flushing, a time flushing also.
It's all set up, it's all on, everything is on.
So that's why it's not working, Babusha. Because everything is on, that's why it's not working. So that's everything is on, isn't it, Babusha? And you didn't plug it.
I told him, he said everything is set.
Oh, then why did you say everything is set? Because you didn't try, you didn't control it. You told him. That's totally different that everything is said, my dear. I told him everything is said. And then you are coming back to me to say everything is already. That's why it's not working. Until somebody went there to cross-check, which you didn't do. Wait, no. Put it up. That is that's our own way of shutting me down. That's our own way of saying, shut up, Pastor. I understand. I know those tricks. That's like saying, what you are saying is not pleasant to my ears. If you don't want to shut up me, I'm going to shut you up. I know that's what she's saying. Because, when children are trying to play the parents, they don't know that those parents, they were also children one time. Some of them have played those games before. So But I'm going to correct you because, if you don't do what you need to do and you are making a mess before the whole world, then the whole world has to see who is responsible for the mess. I did my job. I was in court this morning, and I gave you while I was in court, I was working. And in court, I got all the videos, gave it to you people, get ready from 3 o'clock, from 1 o'clock. Make sure everything is prepared. When it's not prepared, I'm not the only one going to take the responsibility. I'm going to expose who is behind that thing. Maybe it could help tomorrow. Because if I don't expose, then it's going to be repeated tomorrow. Yeah. So I always tell you, Babusha, that this, you're a good girl, but a good girl is not a profession. We need expertise here. The things need to work. You're also a beautiful girl, but beauty is not what we are buying here. We need the things to work. Okay? And I don't deny the fact that you have some tasty dresses, but that one is not benefiting me in this case. Let that one impress your boyfriend and husband, but the only thing that's going to impress me is for the things to work, okay? So I don't buy all the other things. All other things, you go and perform before the boys, but before me, only one thing matters, which means things must work when they need to work, okay? Okay. So now you can put all your noise. I have finished my own business. Only you have to reverse it so that I don't start all over again. What was happening? Make you put it in on now. Stop. We'll be ready to reclaim, Prince Mabusha. Okay. So what is happening here is that we spoke about truth and honesty. Truth, honesty, and sincerity. Now, those are very critical. Pakazwa is a technology. So truth are critical. Truth, honesty, and sincerity are critical for technological and industrial development. If you see any society where there is industrialization or industrial development, technological development, or develop engineering, it is because truth has been what was the word? Legitimized in that society. Legislated. Truth has been legislated in that society. Truth is the basis for mathematics. And truth is the basis for physics. And without, for example, what is truth? Truth means constancy. Truth means precision. And those are the basis for engineering. And these are the basis for development and industrialization as well. So if you have a society where truth is not the basis of the society, what does that mean to us? That means in that society, there is no constancy. And truth is synonymous with constancy, which means your word must always be your word. Your yes must always be your yes. That means a society that's based on truth. No must always be no. Yes must always be yes. Also, that means 2 plus 2 will always be 4. Yeah. But if you see a society where truth is not elevated and where truth is not celebrated and where truth is not the basis of the society, 2 plus 2 will not always be 4. It depends on how you look at it. They will tell you it's because of, well, it is not to my favor right now that 2 plus 2 should be 4. So I could change the order. Or I am the one in government and I have the power to make things to work for me and work against you. So it doesn't matter if 2 plus 2 or anything you want. I am the one in charge. It is the truth of the strong man, the truth of the powerful man. The one who is powerful is the one who is always right. Check it. There is no way that society will be developed. And there is no way that society will have developed and work in engineering. And there is no way that society will have industries that will work. Why? Because for industries to work and for engineering to work, everything must be based on predictability, credibility, and precision. Everything must always be like that. So you cannot just come, in mathematics or in science or in physics, you cannot just come and say, this formula is like this, and you say, no, I changed my mind. No. For engineering to work, it has to be like that all the time, constantly, everywhere, at any time. Your opinion doesn't matter. So for a society to be developed technologically, we have to make ourselves, we have to make individuals to be submitted to some forms of rules and principles. But from the society that we are coming from in Africa, why should I do that? Why? Why now? Why now? We think that my individual opinion or my individual feeling at this particular time is the only thing that is correct. I am correct because it is me. It is correct because that's what I said. Especially if you are powerful, you are always the one who is right. It doesn't matter what any other says. But for a society to function, and especially to be developed, everybody must agree to submit and be submitted to some set of principles and rules. Such is truth. So what I'm showing you right now is using the principle of truth, honesty, and sincerity to develop mechanisms that work, to bring about solution. So right now, what I'm showing you right now is how Israel has been able to use the technology, science, to harvest in a very sophisticated, technologically advanced way. Whereas in Nigeria, in my own country, where truth is not constant, we cannot develop. Even though people are suffering, people are praying to God, God is not coming to bring them development. Because God has given principles upon which the earth should be developed. So right now in Nigeria, people are still using cutlass and hoe to do agriculture. Why see the way other people are doing, what people are already doing, and we are still using cutlass and hoe? Do you know the last time in Europe, the last time people used cutlass and hoe to do agriculture in Europe? 800 years ago. Since 800 years ago, they started using, not mechanized yet, they were using, what do you call it, animal, animal and, plow. And plow had started even during the time of the Bible. And it has not even got into Nigeria up to that, or Africa up to today. But 800 years was the last time people ever used cutlass and hoe for agriculture. So when you show people here what is cutlass and hoe, they don't know what you are talking about. They think it's just for home weed something. They don't know it's for agri. Some people don't even know what it is. They don't recognize what instrument that is. That's where we're still at. Because if we will not, so for our society to go forward, you must see the importance of those principles I gave you yesterday. Truth, honesty, righteousness. They are important not just for heaven, to go to heaven. Because when you listen to religious people, the way they will talk to you, the reason why you need righteousness and truth and things, they would always be thinking it's about going to heaven, you see. But they don't know that God in his own wisdom, even those principles he has given them to us, for us to function here on the earth, and for things to work for us. Without them, things will not work for us. Mathematics, it didn't come from heaven. It was based on those principles of precision and truth. That's where it came from. Truth. 2 plus 2 must always be 4. 1 plus 1 must always be. Truth. It is the basis upon which now mathematics could be calculated and things like that. So let's start all over again. So you see this particular instrument is harvesting combined to harvest. And you will see it's absolutely unimaginable. Why we are still harvesting with hand. I mean, all over the world, of course, it's mechanical harvesting now. But this one is harvesting, is doing the work. This one machine is doing the work that 3,000 people are supposed to be doing. So how will you compete? You tell me. When you are having 3,000 people to be doing handwork. Paying them. I mean, where will you have profit? When you compete, and one machine is just doing it easy. That's why we don't have any option other than to embrace these things we are talking about. How I wish some people will hear me. Okay, let's start. Stop. Nada, can we reduce the volume? Ni bude zvuka, da ni to kapishu, da? Ya budu shitat lushe. So, yeah. Yeah, remove it. And start again so that I could read. And whenever I say stop, you stop, okay? Let's start now. So this machine can harvest 300 kilograms of fruit at a time. At a time, one time. See what's happening. 300 kilograms. It is called Expand R5090. It's made by Pellenc. That's what mathematics does. That's the result of truth. It harvests olives, almonds, cherries, and more. 800 people are supposed to be working instead of this machine alone. The tarpaulin is made of PVC. It extends 11 meters automatically. Can you imagine 11 meters? Automatically. It shakes the tree. It covers the ground underneath the tree. When it's moving, it has a clearance of 50 centimeters. No human being there, only the drivers. This allows it to deal with difficult terrain. It's used with the Pellenc buggy 5,000 shaker. Can you imagine? This shaker can harvest up to 1,200 trees a day. And that is normally, they need 800 people to do that in a day. Pellenc claims it harvests up to 99% of the olives. And when you do that with the hand, you can only do maybe 60%. See what's happening. Pellenc make a range of other harvesting vehicles. See? And it comes out with the harvest. This is their 54 harvesting machine. You just have to drive over the trees to harvest. It has a pneumatic sorter to separate the olives. They also make handheld tools. Which can also be used with the Expand. And in Africa, we used to climb the trees one by one and be plucking it. All of these products are available online. Yeah. So, and this is another reason why I told you people about technology, about setting up research institutes. You remember we spoke about that?
Yeah.
That we should focus on setting up research institutes, and then all those agricultural colleges we have, all those technological colleges, you have to be giving them assignments. Like, don't just go to be doing classroom theory and be reading from textbook. No, the assignment should be better this thing. Those are the kind of assignment. We need 100 of these products from you, from this your college. Otherwise, we are going to close you down. We are going to close you down. Then we go to the computer industry. Then we go to the computer something. We need to produce the best, to compete with this one. Anything you want to do, we could do, including spying, the one we spoke about. If need be, do the needful. But you must have results. Don't just be going to gather students for nothing and be sending them up that they should be going to look for jobs. What rubbish is that? That used to be in the 200 years ago. We must be purposeful in education. There must be a reason why we are setting them up and why we want people to go to those schools and what they are going to get as a result. Education and everything must be purposeful. And everything must be geared towards development. That's why we spoke about that that book. A visionless life is a meaningless life. Why is it that our lives is meaningless, our societies are meaningless? Because visionless. Our Nollywood must be given vision. They must be given assignments. Don't just produce films in their multitude for nothing. Tell me the value system that you are developing. Tell me what this particular film that you are producing right now, what value system is it propagating? So all these values, C7 that we are talking about now, for example, they must be in all those films. And so we know that through those films, people are thinking they are going through entertainment, but we know what we are getting through them. We know that we are developing truth. We know we are developing righteousness. We are developing honesty. Sincerity, for example. Then that is how we change the society at large. But right now, they are just pursuing entertainment for the sake of entertainment. What a waste. What a waste, my dear. Sometimes I don't even know, because you just, I've always said this thing that I begin to understand Solomon. I say that almost every week. I tell everybody, the way I understand Solomon, that there is so much sorrow in wisdom. When you know so much, and you see so much ignorance from people who are supposed to even be, that's supposed to be their profession. That's supposed to be their specialty. I'm just a poor pastor somewhere. I'm even not supposed to be a politician or something. But how come I know these things and you are getting paid full time? You go to school, you say you are called, you are police, and you don't even have a clue on how to build a country. Can you imagine what the suffering in my own soul is? Can you imagine how my soul is aching? And I have to be quiet. And that's why I said I'm happy that at least I'm able to release some things now. So that at least some of us can at least know also. So that the suffering will not be my own only. Share the body with you. Share the suffering with you. So let's see another one here. This one is about ironing machine. Can you imagine it? Young students. That's why these research institutes, we should have these junior schools from primary, secondary. Can you imagine? Some young guys here, they came up. Ironing is a big deal. Everybody irons in the hotel, everywhere at home. But in this particular these people invented a machine that will iron 12 clothes at the same time. So that you don't need to be doing this. You know how much time women, especially housewives, how much time? It's time that is the big deal. That's the biggest currency in the world. And if you are wasting time to be ironing and doing like that, see, that's what technology matters. Let's have a look at this one. There's Zvuk, yes? Kulushit is Zvuk. Yeah, go ahead, please.
It could be the answer to one of life's most pressing problems. Two young inventors have created a 699 pounds, $925 robotic ironing machine to make short work of crumpled shirts, blouses, trousers, and even underwear. The device, named Effie, can dry and iron 12 separate pieces of clothing at once, which its inventors claim cuts ironing time by 95%. It gets items ready within 3 minutes, and has an app to alert you when your clothes are done. The device even has a scented ball compartment to add a smell of your choice to laundry. Effie.
Just like before, people used to wash plates too. Before the plate washers, her dishwashers got ready. And then clothes too, people used to use hand to wash clothes too before the washing machine. And now, you see, we could also, what I would have liked to do is to set up those junior schools and research institutions and give assignment to our polytechnics so that everything right now that is a challenge in the society or a time consumer or a waster, that we just give them assignments so that they will begin to look for the best solution that is available right now and going to look for solutions for improvement on it. That is how we could jumpstart our progress and compete with the world. But if there is no purposeful leadership that will be able to, see things ahead like that and put this assignment before men and before institutions, we're just going to be, running after catch up. We'll be playing catch up, or what do you call it? Is it catch up? Yeah, and we'll never catch up. Okay, continue.
Has been designed by engineers Roland Kandar and Trevor Kurth. Built in Mr. Kandar's family home in Pinner, North London, where Mr. Kandar lived until recently, the duo have made a fully working prototype, with a full version expected in spring 2018. Mr. Kandar explained that he intended to take the pain out of ironing, a chore he admits his mother has often done for him. And he would not dream of asking his busy wife, who is a full-time doctor, to take on the chore. To iron a shirt, you first hang it up in the machine's cabinet on adjustable hangers. The doors close, and it then an internal steam iron presses the shirt, taking out any creases. The machine's name is a geeky play on words. It derives from Fe, the name in the periodic table for the metal iron. It measures 128 centimeters high, 80 centimeters wide, and 40 centimeters deep. While the device may have been invented in a garage, the pair are far from amateur inventors. Both Mr. Kandar, who studied engineering at Cambridge University, and Mr. Kurth, originally from the U.S., whose engineering degree was from the University of California at San Diego, have a background in designing and developing medical devices. The pair created the machine out of 141 parts. They used 3D printers, acrylic laser cutting, and plastic molding machines to create it, and have already applied for a patent. They promise that it can cut the amount of time ironing down by 95%. Underwear can be hung in a bag inside to be dried, and a scented ball can be added to the steam tank. Mr. Kandar, who recently got married and only just moved out of his parents' home, said, "Like absolutely everyone, our mothers ironed for us at some point. I got married recently and realized how much my mother did for me. I now have to do my own ironing. I don't entertain the idea of my wife, Pale, doing the ironing. She's a doctor and she has more than enough to be getting on with without doing my ironing. The idea of the device is to save time and effort. The idea of the device is to be for ironing what the washing machine is for washing clothes. Nobody likes doing it, no matter what they say. The point of this device is to take away the pain. That's what we are trying to do."
Excellent. Excellent. So can you imagine when you now convert institutions and
What's
Polytechnic.
up, everybody? So ever since I got this watch system, I got a few
Wyklusi,
increases on how it.
babushi. By the time I'm done with you, you will run away from this conference, from this HMT. So, Vavsheta Galina, Tibeji, nada bit to tam readom, should be pamogata, tot sidish tam data daleke. Nada prenisi to your student to the pamogat, slide shim. So can you imagine when this is now purposeful? You see, in the West, people can afford to just leave things out chaotically. Let somebody from California somewhere come up with some ideas. Let another one from somewhere come up with something. But in our own case, we are so backward, and we are so pathetically lost that somebody must help us with direction. Not just leave everything for chaos, until somebody somehow comes up by himself by chance. We must be purposeful about development. We must be purposeful about civilization. Okay, so the next place where we are, so truth is responsible for technological and industrial development. This is what I just proved to you, right? So it's the major principle for national transformation, is the basis for national building. So, So a nation needs a permanent group of people. You see, that's what we spoke about yesterday. A nation needs a permanent group of people working to find and give foresight to the nation. How do you people like the idea of foresight yesterday? I want you to remind you about the fact that that is one of the 7 pillars and the keys to national transformation. So in Nigeria or Africa, if we are to jumpstart our growth and development, we will need to have that group of people. And, we will need special group of people, special research institutions. We need to just have colonies of experts and professionals working to, like I said, research institute, junior schools, to come up with competitive innovations to launch us into the next. At least we should give them assignment to look at producing things that will make the country, position the country for the next 200 years at least for the next 2 centuries. Then we are talking about being a relevant country and continent. So here we go. Let's start showing Vika,
in someone else's future. Are you living in someone else's future, or are you creating your own? Today, with the speed and the complexity of change, organizations react and adapt to change very differently. At Enigma, when we work with organizations and help them innovate, change, we see generally 2 main forces playing against them. The first one is the idea of technological determinism, which is an idea that the main driver of change within a society is technology. It's the idea of progress. And with this belief comes another belief that most problems can be solved by using the right technology. The second force is speed. Too much change, not enough time. And because organizations are structured and organized in a way that they thrive in predictable environments, large markets of very average consumers, they do not necessarily have the right tools to deal with the complexity and define and address complex problems that they face today. In this context, we see 4 main ways of coping with change or responding to change. The first one is the ostrich. Head in the sand, denial, illusions, nothing's going to happen to me, I'm safe, I don't need to be concerned. Second one,
Stop.
Fireman.
Ostrich, that is where most people in the world are right now. We are just surviving, me and my family. We are alive, we are eating, we have food to eat. That's basically how the whole world is living right now. Not the whole world, but especially developing countries. Okay, go ahead.
Very proactive, very reactive, and trying to cope with change at the last minute. Third type, the insurer. The insurer working ahead of problems, trying to understand where patterns are going, trying to make sense of the future, trying to see which problems to avoid, what could happen for the organization.
Stop.
And fourth,
You see, we are not even here yet. These are the kind of things we are talking about, foresight. Dash. Play.
innovators, explorers, visionaries, they generate change, they create change. As Abraham Lincoln said, the best way to predict the future is to create it yourself, and that's really what they do. We usually ask 3 questions to organizations we work with. How do you address the notion of change in your business? What are the practices and methods and processes to make sense of this change? And finally, are you relying on predictions, or is your future wide open with lots of different futures available and a lot of space to maneuver strategically? So, at the end of the day, it's really about asking yourself, am I living in my own future? Or is this someone else's future?
Stop. Stop. Always be careful about the noise, so that when it's finished, stop the volume. So what is happening is that this is business, right? This is business world. Now, business world is thinking about being competitive in the future and creating their own future. If business world is doing that, what about nations? And most of us in Africa, we are living not in our own future. We are living in the future that is created by other people. And if other people don't create our future for us, we are just helpless. But I come from this world. I am born to belong to this people. And that's why at least this must change in my own lifetime. If I don't change it, at least I must give the secrets to change it to the next generation. We must not allow our children and children's children to live like the way people went before us and never taught us these things. And I don't want to even talk about church, because church is a big disappointment. They don't even touch these things. I mean, if you see what people do in church, they are talking about air conditioner, buying something, carpet, or some rope for the choir, some microphone, you know. We are talking about creating the future. They will even tell you Jesus is coming next year, so you better forget about it and do and do. So, whereas God is saying, let thy kingdom come. It's about creating heaven on earth. It's about creating life here to resemble and duplicate and replicate the kingdom of heaven. And these are the people doing it. Unbelievers are doing it. Unbelievers are showing us how it is to become a son. They are showing us sonship. And we are the ones who are supposed to raise sons. So this one we are going to have here is an example of, you remember I spoke about research institutes? Yeah. So this one I'm going to show you now is an example of a research institute. Can you believe it? They set up a research institute to research into smart cities. You remember we showed in the last HMT smart cities. So smart cities, these are the things, these are the kind, all the cities in the world in the next 200 years are going to become smart cities alone. We don't even have analog cities right now. So smart cities, you know, that is what research institutes are for. Let's have a look at this. And we should have this kind of institute, like 200 of them in my country. You see, Research Institute.
The reason that the Institute is so crucial at this time is that we face unprecedented challenges. Melbourne, for instance, is a city that's going to double in size by 2050. We've got increasing awareness of the negative effects of climate change. We've got mass migration. We're worrying about our security for food and water and energy. We have to think about the mobility challenges, and we've also got health challenges of ageing populations. We have 4 key programs that the Institute will be focusing on. They are new urban government structures, sustainable urban mobility, smart spaces for home and work, and smart sustainable infrastructure and delivery systems.
As a University of Technology, clearly we have our eye on developing technologies that have the potential to disrupt and transform our
University of Technology. See what they are doing? It's not just saying we have students that's just like 10% of what the university is supposed to be doing. This is the real thing we're talking about. But the whole idea is that they are a research institute. They are only focused on providing solutions for the future. That's what research institutes are supposed to be doing. Providing solutions for the... Like, for example, let's say we have University of Ife. They should have at least 200 products. 2,000 products, minimum 2,000 products, that they are unique products that they are working on right now that will not be comparable to any in the world. That is the only way you will continue to have government finances. If you talk about University of Ibadan or Onisha or Nzuka, the same thing. You must be able to provide 400, 4,000, 5,000 different products that will make our nation competitive. Then you are talking. Otherwise, what are you doing? Just eating, waking up, sleeping and waking up. Hey, teach it out. Hold yourself.
And create an agenda that's very much supportive of our citizens. So the Smart Cities Research Institute at Swinburne will be unique because it places our citizens at the heart of the strategy. And this is the agenda of all of our 5 institutes, whereby they are really the 5 pillars of one institute, which is Swinburne.
There are reasons why I think the Swinburne Research Institute has the potential to get ahead of the game. And that is principally...
It's about getting ahead of the game. You hear?
Yeah.
Our institute has the potential to get ahead of the game. That is what the world is about. That's what nations and schools are supposed to be about. Go ahead.
Because of the fact that...
Stop. So you see all these people, these are all what they call scientific research, what they call it? Research fellows. That's their own job. Research fellows. That's just what they are living for. Finding solutions for the future. That is what I call foresight development. Foresight principle of growth. Go ahead, please.
Launching it alongside the other 4 research institutes. And so there's a great opportunity to integrate the research across related areas.
And I don't believe that, because we are in Africa or because we are a developing country, that we don't have potential to be able to also have people to... our people are not worse, believe me. They are as good as anybody else.
Yeah.
But somebody must be there to provide the leadership. We must place the target before people. We must give them forecast. We must provide them with the assignment. We must apply the principle of foresight in national development. Dash.
It's really important for Smart Cities research to be led out of Melbourne today because we have this incredible asset of students, researchers, academics in our city who are citizens themselves and can connect to the challenges we need to solve for Melbourne, whether it be related to safety or congestion or environmental challenges, and to apply the knowledge, the skills, the capabilities we have to create the solutions of the future and to inform IP patents and to inform new businesses that might be starting up on the back of this work.
So smart cities are those which understand the importance of behavioral change as a key lever to different outcomes. And that's because at the end of the day, cities are all about people. They're all about the experience that you feel in the city.
Our institute will focus on defining the smart citizen to help create and run the smart city. In short, we will be playing our part.
That's a whole institute that says their own vision is to develop smart citizens. More like Pastor Bosse, my wife, came to talk to you about today. Civilized people. Not just building civilized society. Or what did she call her message? Developing civilized? Huh? Person, yeah. Person, yeah. So developing and civilized people to be able to build civilized nation. So that's exactly what they are also talking about. And believe me, I never saw this thing until today. So I just, came up with the idea today to give you some illustrations. So I started looking for these things. I have an assistant that is, looking for them. Just to confirm my teachings. Not because I've seen them and I came up with the teaching, no. These are just illustrations for the teachings. It's a lady that is there that is looking for them. So I've never seen these things up to now. Okay. So, but I know the principles, you see. I know that's exactly what it is. And I'm always happy that there are confirmation to my words out there somehow. Okay, go ahead.
Part in ensuring that Australia, home to some of the world's most livable cities, will be recognised for being home to the world's most smartest smart cities.
Okay, so we shouldn't wait for Australia to come and determine what city we are going to live in Africa. We should build our own cities. We shouldn't wait for Americans, French, to come and determine for us what condition of country we live in. Because they are developing countries for cold weather, for, European conditions. We need to develop our own. And for that to happen, somebody needs to give direction, foresight to our people, and direction. And, leadership, I just think. So, and then, okay. So let's start from the beginning, please. So here, you remember I spoke about schools? That we need to have schools that are having geniuses and, that we conserve to be able to provide solutions for the future. Don't just build schools just for reading and writing, So Finland is the best in the world right now in schools. Finland is number one in education, system of education. Then number two is Singapore. So, but they are building competitive children for the future. So let's have an example of just confirming the things that I'm thinking about. But what I'm thinking about, all those ideas that I have, they are even much more sophisticated than what they have done. And even with the Research Institute, there are things that I have in my mind that are much more better than what these people have done. But at least we see people are moving in the right direction. Okay, let's have a look.
In the Finnish Comprehensive School, our teaching and learning objectives are given in the national curriculum, but the actual teaching in the classroom is designed by us, the teachers. So we look at the group that we are teaching and we decide what is the best way to work with them and to keep it varied and interesting and really suitable to that group. So we have the freedom to use our expertise in the classroom.
We teachers, we try to support the students to do creative group works so they can do their own innovations. Plus, when they have something to ask.
This is primary school, secondary school. They are talking of innovations. Okay.
They don't understand something. they can interrupt and ask it from the teacher. So the teacher is kind of not only giving the information, but the teacher is also a mentor for the students.
So since childhood, I thought I just want to become a teacher, and I think it's a really multiple profession. I can do many things. I can be a role model, I can give information, knowledge, but also I want to give a message that if you're yourself, you're just enough to this world. And, you know, it sounds really, I don't know, romantic, I don't know, but I think that's the way.
Finland, that's a small country, insignificant country somewhere in Europe. They don't have natural resources or raw materials or anything, but they capitalize on what is called human capital development. And the only way to do that is through education. So they are always constantly improving systems of education to develop the best capacity in people. And they are always, for the last 10 years, they have always been number one. So they have specialists, Finnish people being employed everywhere, really managing international corporations, because they have decided to make human capital their stronghold. And this is not just in private schools. Like, for example, in the public schools in the UK, you know, there are some people who are 9 years old or in class 5, class 9 in the UK who cannot read and write. But not in these Finnish schools. But the only reason why, even America, the same thing. But the only reason why they are competitive in the UK, America, is because they get immigrants to come in later on. The best minds. Canada, all people are doing that. But these people are developing in every school. You know, then in the UK they have private schools. So the private schools, they make, you know, they produce the very best. But the public, but these people, all the public schools are like the private ones in the UK. And in fact, they are beating the private ones. When they go for Olympiad, they call something Olympiad. You are from Finland.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can talk about what I'm saying. So they have the Olympiads or the Olympics for mathematics and physics. Finland is always coming first. Yeah. Okay. They have problem with spirituality, so that's why, you know, later on they get to be 20s and 30s, then they begin to drink because no purpose in life, but still, no God, lack of God. But we have God in Africa. Let's add excellence to it. Let's add capacity to it. Okay.
That's the way that gives me power in that job.
Before you can become a teacher in Finland in our university, you have to go through your major subjects studies and also the minor subject studies. And then there's an interview which includes 2 interviewers, and they ask you questions. And if you get in, then the whole becoming a teacher process starts. And we study, for example, educational philosophy, educational sociology.
During classes, we have the opportunity to interrupt the teacher.
While our churches in Africa and our people in our GOs and churches are putting all the people in church to pray from morning to night, not using their mind. See, nations maximizing human mind capacity, where we are making people to say, don't read anything apart from the Bible. Just you know, it is secular. That thing is secular. Don't go there. That one, no, don't be bast. All kind of wasting people's resources. This was a maximizing it. Okay, go ahead. Dashe, Prodogene, Babusha, Nispi.
Teacher, if we want to ask questions, if we don't understand the subject, or if we want to start a conversation, if we want to understand the subject more comprehensively. And I think it's great because, well, myself, it's crucial for me, because if I wouldn't be able to participate and be active, I think I would fall asleep. So it's very great.
It's very good to have the breaks in between to help everyone concentrate on the next subject and learn better.
Well, I like the breaks really much because I can get my mind off the studying for a while, and then I can concentrate better in the next class.
And you must know that that country, they don't speak English there. That's not their language. But because of the educational system, you almost think they're English-speaking country. And almost everybody is speaking English. And their language is so difficult. It's one of the most difficult languages in the world. And but they're trying. Okay, so let's continue. A nation needs a permanent group of people working to find and give foresight to the nation. So that's what we have spoken about. Through industrial spying and spies, especially in technology, spy technology, that we need to develop our spying industry, and we need to take that serious, because they will not give us their technology. There will be no technological transfer. It's a mirage. No transfer of know-hows. We will need to put things in place. And I would like you people to know that it is normal. All countries, developed countries, have spies. All of them have a part of their budget just devoted to spying and stealing from each other. So we shouldn't say, we should say this is illegitimate or something. They're all doing it. And I want to prove that to you, so that you don't say Pastor Sunday is bringing some crooked things. Like I said yesterday, I saw it in the Bible. I'm just copying God. God started with the 12 spies. And if he could have spies, am I more holy than God? No, leave me alone, Joe. I would rather be like God if spying for him is not too holy to do. It's not so it's not too holy for him to do spying. It's not too holy for me to. Let's have an idea of a spying story here. That and look at this country, Israel. I mean, it's just a country that is just 1948 it was given birth to. And industrially, I mean, they are like on top of the world. And they are spying like crazy. Israel, bad news. They have secret service. Yeah, that's very developed. And that's why, one of the best in the world. And spying is one of their main professions. Yeah, so let's have a look.
Guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and here I have the latest from Samsung, and it's hard not to notice this thing looks strikingly similar to an iPhone. So in this video, I'd like to show you guys 10 things Samsung blatantly copied from the iPhone 6. Now, I'm not saying this is a one-way street. Apple has certainly taken things here and there from Samsung and Android. However, Apple's much more discreet about it. Samsung Galaxy S6 is so in your face, looking like the iPhone 6.
It's evil industry. They say Apple also has stolen from Siemens, and then the Samsung is stolen from Apple. You think, how come Apple comes up with iPhone 6 or something, then the next thing you see, Chinese come out with their own, Samsung come out with their own, everybody. You think it's just Holy Spirit telling them? No. It is called industrial spying. Industrial spying. That's how they cash up. And you are the one paying for it, because you are the one buying all those products. Yeah, go ahead.
Hard to believe. First thing you'll notice the Galaxy S6 copied is the build. The materials are now glass and aluminium. The aesthetics pulled from the iPhone 4. Hey, Galaxy. 2010 called and they want their design back. Every Galaxy before the S6 was made of plastic. Suddenly Samsung decided to build it out of the same materials the iPhone 4 and every iPhone after that was made of. Next is design and the curved edge. When Apple initially announced the iPhone 6, they said that the curved edge helped you swipe back and it was a very beautiful design. Well, next thing you know, Samsung releases a Galaxy with a very similar design, and it's more noticeable on the standard Galaxy, not the Galaxy Edge. And the Galaxy Edge, the display, that's something unique. Apple hasn't had that before. Next is the orientation of the volume rocker speaker and the volume button. So first off, the speaker looks very similar. They moved the jack down below to where it is on the iPhone. The actual volume button has been split in two. It was a one single button before, so it looks extremely similar. Overall, all of these have been rearranged to look just like an iPhone. The design similarities cross into things as small as the antenna bands. They look just like the ones from the iPhone, as well as the SIM card tray. I mean, something so small was even copied. Samsung even decided to iPhoneify the storage and the battery. You can no longer replace either one of these, and you have to pay in increments if you want to get more storage, just like the iPhone. And there will be a version of the S6 where you can do this, but the standard S6 and S6 Edge have almost the same memory options as the iPhone and no longer a user-replaceable battery. Ah, yes, Samsung, tighten your grip. Make these people feel like they own an Apple device. I mean, this world needs less customization. Who wants to be able to do this? In the previous Galaxy S5, you had to slide down to use that fingerprint sensor. Well, just like the iPhone, the new Galaxy S6 adds functionality where you can just press down and it works just like an iPhone. The similarities on the fingerprint sensor don't stop there. In the actual software side, when you're registering your fingerprint, like the iOS, the fingerprint symbol starts growing the more you press it. I mean, it's just so obvious they copied all of this from Apple. Apple has seen some major success with their Apple Pay system. Well, Samsung wanted to get a piece of that pie, and they created Samsung Pay. It even sounds similar. Well, first off, it does everything that Apple Pay can. It doesn't come out for a while yet, so I can't actually show you guys, but pretty much an exact copy of Apple Pay. Now, here's one that really stood out to me. Look how hard Samsung tried to replicate the Apple iOS keyboard in their TouchWiz user interface. It looks so similar. In fact, the Galaxy S5 keyboard looks very much different from the S6. It's like the engineers working on it were put to the task to make it as similar to the iPhone 6 without making it too obvious. I don't think I could forgive Samsung for this one. I mean, it's just too much. Now let's back up to the iPhone 5S. Apple, out of these two companies, was the first one to sell a gold iPhone. Samsung, seeing the success and the demand for the gold iPhone, decided to make their own version with the S5, and now that carries over to the S6. That gold option was first available for Apple. Even as something as basic as the headphones, Samsung decided, hey, Apple's were better, so let's just make ours look like theirs. I mean, take a look at the similarities. It's hard to say they're not similar. They look just like the Apple EarPods. So that's just about it. Those are 10 things Samsung stole or copied from Apple, whatever you want to call it. So some of you guys may ask, doesn't Samsung get sued for this? And the answer is yes. Apple files lawsuits. It wins them very often against Samsung. And the way it works is they actually countersue Apple when they get sued, so it delays the court by quite a while. And in that time, they can sell so many of their copied products that it doesn't even matter that they're getting sued. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. It's really interesting that a company so big as Samsung would resort to copying Apple. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Peace.
That's just the way the world works. Just for an example for you. By the way, if any one of you, I told you about the intensity of our program, but if any one of you will have health issues, if you have health challenges or health issues, just tell people, tell our administrators, all right? So that they will make you, not to go through all the complex issues or assignments like every other person. So if you have health challenges, you don't need to go through everything. Just let people know, okay? All right. I think it's time for break, right? Is it up? Not yet. Okay. Let's do another one. So this one, wait. This is the, I spoke to you about Israel. Yeah, that's the one they were supposed to show, but this is the one they will show now. Mossad. One of their main operations is spying. Spying is a big thing for them. And that's why they are ahead of the world. Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay. They are not talking here, right? So let's reduce it. Let me read it. Let's start all over again. So this video is part of an effort to get play. It's part of an effort to get high-tech spy gear for Israel's spy agency. You see, they have an agency for spying. The intelligence agency Mossad has a new fund called Libertad. It wants speeches for new cloak and dagger tech. From robotics to miniaturization, Libertad offers up to 570 per project, 1,000. Inventors can even resell their technology to others. The fund will support visionary entrepreneurs. That is Mossad doing this. Not the universities. Oh, he's talking now. Let's hear what he's talking. Go back. This is the director of the Mossad. Let's hear what they're saying. Go back a little bit also. Yeah.
ליברטט תאפשר למוסד חיבור חזק, ישיר, פורה, עם מאגר המוחות הטכנולוגיים פורצי הדרך, המובילים פה בישראל את עיצוב המחר.
Stop. So why should Mossad, an intelligence agency, a spy agency, be looking for entrepreneurs? Because they want to be ahead of the world. It's not even left for universities alone. Secret service. Why secret service? Because they are going to be stealing from everywhere to be ahead of the rest of the world. Go ahead.
אנחנו היום מבטיחים שגם בעתיד
You see? Stop. Today we guarantee that in the future the Mossad will maintain its, you see, they are talking about the future and they're already building it today. Okay?
הטכנולוגית למען ביטחון אזרחי ישראל.
You see, the superiority in technology. That's what they want to get. Mossad, secret agency, want to get superiority in technology. So that is, you know, we should wake up. Go ahead. Stop. Go back a little bit. Reduce the volume because it's not talking now. Yeah. So let's. Yeah. So cool gadgets aren't just for spy movies, it turns out. So those gadgets are not just for movies, they are for real life spying. Go ahead. They really can help keep millions of people safe. Well, their eyes are everywhere, you see. Technology is cryptotechnical everywhere. And they started a whole movement just for this. You know, doing microscopic technological spying devices. And they are looking for businessmen to develop these small spying devices. To be microscopic, the undetected, and sell them, make money out of them. So I just thought that I should, let's put on the light. I just thought that I should give you people some illustrations of what we were talking about yesterday. I hope it was helpful, maybe not. But I hope, yeah, I hope it was good enough. So anybody wants to comment on this? Do you have a microphone? Does anybody want to say anything about the videos you have seen? If nobody, then we'll meet after the break. You want to say something? Okay. Yes, go ahead. Come. Dайте ему microphone. Оно же красное показывает. Okay, low battery. Да, но еще будет работать. Но уже батарея низко. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to comment a little bit about Finland.
Yes.
Because yesterday, even your teaching yesterday, when you were talking about honesty,
yes,
all those principles, truth, I could see myself also. And then some challenge came. I said, this is good. If I go back to Congo, it will be easy to apply.
Amen.
But honesty in Finland is something like you don't need to be a believer to be honest. To be honest. And to see the
because it has been propagated, like we say, and it has been legislated. Yes.
To see this, even from my home with my wife, we have 4, what do you call, rubbish to put some stuff instead of one. We have four in
Four
our
different ones.
in our kitchen. And then with my mind, I'm still struggling over 8 years now. When I put, my wife will come, I told you this is there. So every time I have a floor in our kitchen. And this is the Congo, I eat a draw there, I did not care. And now I'm struggling, and my wife is very, very serious for that.
She's a white lady.
Yes, very serious. That's number one. So
because it has been put in a mind, so it's subconscious.
It's like plastic. It goes to the place of paper.
It's a problem.
Like you have done a big sin. Yes, that's a reality for my life every day. And then, so I learned a lot. And then another one is, if you, in a place we are living, or most of area before, a lot of refugees or people from Africa, we came. But still, even the place I'm living, you lose your phone, or it fell, or this somewhere. Your idea is when you realize it, even one day later, you said, I have to go to the police to check.
Okay.
And then you have a chance to find with your stuff inside. I said to my wife, are we in heaven or what? No, I cannot believe it in the Congo, or I live in South Africa. Even after that, your own house, every time you have to make sure you lock it. Your own car, you are going to the shop, you have to make sure that your car is locked. But in Finland, you leave your
house open.
I mean, it blew my mind. I said, no.
Your car's open.
Yeah,
you don't lock your house. You don't lock your cars. You don't need to be afraid you lose your bag or you lose your purse. Everything you will find them. Just go to the police that you lost this. Everything will be there. Are we living in heaven or what? Well, honesty, truth and honesty, righteousness.
So it's a blessing for me to have your speech or your teaching, because I've been following you already two years ago, following you because like I told a little bit my story to your wife this day that I was checking, because doing what I'm doing there, and I check your story. I come from a small village, growing with my grandmom.
Like me?
Yes, and I come in Finland. I saw in the newspaper later on, I'm first black or African person to lead a church of white people.
In
Finland, with my broken Finnish. And it's a miracle. I follow your testimony. I say, I have to find my brother and then just get principle and then pray together. So that's why I'm here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then one thing for education, it's many things to share, but one thing for education system, when I came to Finland, I started to have to study language. And then the way they made things for education, very simple, very easy.
Wow.
I said, what is going on? This is not the way to study. It's so easy.
You are used to the hard way, the African way.
For us, you have to memorize everything. Like you check your own before the test. You need to memorize all of it. Even some we can make no sense, but you have to memorize them. But in Finland, the system, it makes everyone to get something. Everyone. So for them, there is no one will say, this is stupid student, this is a clever student. No. I did not hear it. And then the fact...
Stupid student.
No stupid. No one, no failure. Like you have failure, you pass.
Beautiful.
And so I just say, oh my God. When I see back, and then now, this system, with my friend from Cameroon was saying to me, I said to you, how you see this system? He said, I come to study here, but it's so easy and make things very, you have to work and they have the best result. So we were talking with my friend from Cameroon, how they made things very easy, and they have the result, because since I'm there, I see people from the United States, England, coming to study but so they make things. And then now I have my child is 6 years old, or going to 7. The system says that he cannot go straight to the school after this kindergarten, what do you call it. Yeah. So there is 1 year of a preparation before you start the primary school. 1 year. I was confused. I said to 1 year, why my child doesn't go to school? Why? And they said to me, this is the system. We have to train him to be capable to all small things. And then I have to find this laptop or this laptops. Yeah. I said, my child is so small. How can I get him laptop? This is dangerous. And school provide. Wow. And then you see in all Finland, we don't have this system. You need to be born from a rich family, and for poor family, you can get education. And then the government try to do the best that the private school are very low, very there. It's government. The school is a free study. Free study. And then they got even some trouble with the European Union because the fact that they made the school is a free for everyone. And the other countries in Europe, why to be free? So they try, okay, if you are coming from outside, you can pay some small, maybe 200 euros to get in. And all. But school for Finn people, free of charge. So that is a little bit what I'm learning. It's
a confirmation. You know, it was Finland that chose to choose because they are the best.
Yeah. And I was reading one of your book. There is new book. I'm reading there. Yeah,
yes, you are born.
And I come to Finland with Somalian Fado from Somalia,
yes.
A lady who studied nurse and back home, went back home, became president. And I could see myself how Finland is helping me, even helping me a lot. I say, if the Lord allow me. So
go back and make Africa like that.
What I will that's why your teaching here is I'm seeing two faces. I have two backgrounds. I say, how long I will be in Finland and what I will do in Congo. And then to finish, this is my dream, because when you talk about your plan to go back to Nigeria, I saw the transformation. I saw something.
Amen.
Even I heard a lot of preaching. I come from Africa. I live there. When I heard your preaching, and then sometimes I go to trouble. I say, because Mas Manera has been my first hero when I got books from Mas Manera. I read. And when I went, I heard that he passed away. He went to the Lord. I said, oh, we lost our black picture, our hero. And then one day I went to bookstore in Belgium. And I said to my wife, let's go, because I realized that I need to, like Mas Mero used to say, get good books and more values.
Yes.
Borrow from others. So I found the Kingdom Driving Life. I said, Sunday Adelaja. Black man.
In Belgium?
In Belgium. Sunday Adelaja. Wow. Kingdom. So I'm so addicted to hear kingdom. So I have to catch
like
it.
Like Vice Moreau, eh?
Yes. So, and I began to read. I saw a place to say that we have made the church become like exile. We ran away from problem. And I came to my church. I was preaching. I found really connect. And then I talked to you about my church. In one of your books there, it's one of the best in Finland. There, it's my picture. Because when people talk about most of African people, we came just to mess up values. And then most of pastors we talk, they say, is no anyone good from Africa. Always I have Sunday Adelaja. This is my model. So I say this is good. So, sorry, that was my...
Thank you, sir. You are duplicating the same model now in Finland. And when I was in Finland, but maybe before you came, I was in Finland maybe 13 years ago and 11 years ago. So I was talking, and it's so easy. So I was just so surprised because I preached there one day, and I said, why don't you join the government? Why don't you go and do to some Christians? Why are you allowing all the unbelievers to go take the government for? And one guy was there who is a Muslim. He came to listen to me because he was saying a black guy in Russia. So he came. By the time I went there 2 years later, I said, I did what you said. I went to join the city council government, and I'm in the politics now. So easy. And he was a refugee. Everything is possible because people don't teach you to do